Philanthropy is a much larger word, meaning you'll have to solve countries' problems. Okay, you'll have to have state problems. Okay, there are hundreds of problems which are there. You can take one or two and start contributing.
What is the inauthentic family office? So that there are warning signs for those who are watching us.
I always believe that women are going to change this world. Okay, and that's going to happen. India is going to be, the demographic dividends are going to go away. We're going to have more and more elderly people coming in. What are we doing about it?
So we spoke about the book Wise Wealth itself, and we are in this episode particularly, we are dealing so much with enabling this legacy lifestyle and wise wealth. So when you call it that, what did you have in mind?
So let me put it this way. We were very, very fortunate when I wanted to start Entrust in 2013. I would say it is it's only God sent that we had the opportunity of working with Mr. Nandan Nilgiri. And the embodiment of wise wealth, if one person I can actually say, is Mr. Nilgiri. Okay, and in every aspect of, we have learnt only from him, because this entire concept of wise wealth was derived from our experiences with managing his family office, and without which we wouldn't have reached where we are. And so typically wise wealth is about being quiet, clean, low noise.
There's a whole solid bedrock of integrity.
Absolutely.
Ethics.
And typically wealth is a means to an end. It is not, it's not be all and end all of life, and that is very important. And once you start dealing with people, like typically here comes the, like for example, again a byproduct question is, like, whom should you not deal with, meaning in terms of whom do you don't want to be your clients. Because somebody who's like looking at the money every day, they are not our clients, because that's not the concept. In fact, we keep telling clients, saying that please download everything to us. We are here to take care. You just pursue what you like the most. It could be anything. It could be building the nation. It could be like building an enterprise, or it could be just traveling around the world. It could be playing golf all 365 days. You can do anything, but you'll have to trust somebody and say, boss, please take care of this. This is your domain.
You're literally freeing them up. You're
freeing
liberating.
them. Absolutely, absolutely. So wise wealth is all about that. Right from how do you parent, what do you mean by corporate governance? Like once I was actually listening to Mr. Murthy's, Narayana Murthy's, talk in 100 years of ENY, I think, Taj West End, if I remember right. He said, when in doubt, disclose. It stuck hard in my mind, meaning in terms of when in doubt, disclose. If you have even a slightest doubt, just don't keep it, just disclose it. That's the way we follow our business. Okay, we always want to be transparent with clients. Okay, utmost transparency. How will you gain trust? Okay, trust is all about transparency. Just be open about anything and everything.
So what you are saying, I feel connects with this. I'm going to reference this book. I find it very interesting. Multi-family office. And what you write in this page 31 is that who isn't suitable to be an MFO client? Besides the day trader's mentality, which you already referred to, you also say, Raj, that people who are too close to their money. In the past couple of years, we have politely terminated the onboarding process for people who fell into this category because the relationship becomes unmanageable at both ends. They would be unable to manage their restlessness after handing over the keys to their kingdom, and we find their incessant requests for updates manageable. Now, apart from the making the money using unethical, illegal means, which we already covered, I want to speak a couple of minutes about this category of people. What are they? Where are they coming from? Is this like a scarcity mindset? Why are some people wanting to know so much about their daily thing? Is it for a quick ascent of growth? In your experience, just in categories of human behavior, I'm very curious
So
what you observe.
see, if you really ask me, I've also been thinking about this and why people are extremely close, and I can only think that uh, it's very difficult to categorize them as something like saying that uh, these are these are people who are very very different. I would say saying that there could be some background in their life if you like trace back. We don't know, like we don't know the background of how they've come up, like how difficult life has been for them, and like whether they would have struggled to reach where they are, and there could be many such situations, or in generally saying that people are um, risk takers themselves. I'll give you an example. There's one gentleman whom we were trying to approach, and we just saw in the in the news saying that he sold his company and like he's made a huge kitty of money, and immediately we reached out and said that hey, we would like to come and meet you and like, we would like to present our credentials. You know what reply we got? I wasn't surprised because I knew him before, but he said, "Can you guarantee 20% return?"
Who?
Okay, and then we can meet. Okay, first tell me whether you can guarantee. So immediately I said, "That's not our client." Okay, it's not that 20% scared us. The way a person, what do you say, classifies the relationship, if it's based on returns we don't give. Can anybody come and saying that I give you the returns? The market gives, the market forces. What happens tomorrow if there's a world war? What happens if world sneezes somewhere? The entire market collapses. So we don't give returns. We'll have to make sure that your money is in the right place. That's it. The market forces give you returns. So if you say give me 20%, 25%, then in a way I don't want to be very crude, but I feel saying that I feel they are very ignorant about the kind of expectations what they have. So typically I feel saying that these are clients we don't touch. But two, in your question saying that why people are very close to the money. Like I said, saying that it could be past experience. Number two is there is a genre of people, meaning in terms of they are there's less trust with anybody. It's a question of trust, and you'll agree saying that there are people who don't trust others. Okay, it's a mindset issue. Okay, and it could stem from anywhere. Okay, you can't really, you'll have to then do a psychoanalysis, which is not our jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's better not to be dealing with them. Okay, so it is a question of trust.
So as you're telling me this, and as we move probably towards the end of this conversation, in my experience, even as a journalist, especially when I travel solo into many parts of India, I see farmers, particularly since rural India is my interest, who have sold their land, who have not been used to big money, who have probably been small land holdings owners, have grown kuch sabzi vagera something, and then suddenly there comes a time industries come in, like a Gurgaon example. I mean, so agri intense, and then suddenly now you see that the generation and the next generation have their Land Rovers and big cars, and they lose money just as quickly as they probably got it. What is your advice for those who are very likely to build their corpus, given that the younger set, the demographic which is probably watching us right now, is very likely to be in that set far better than their parents did? Incomes are rising, people going abroad, couples, probably no kids, lots of wealth. But then to make sure that this is protected, that this actually goes into good use, what's your advice?
So I would advise patience. There's no hurry. It is like we get requests like saying that, hey, market is falling, please invest, please put the money today. There's no hurry. There's nothing. Like for example, let it lie in the bank for another 1 month. Things are not going to change at all. The market dynamics is always, we have seen ups, we have seen downs, we have seen worse periods, we have seen great periods. So it is like it's a cycle. Okay, so you need to be patient with the money. There's no hurry in identifying, saying that, hey, I need to deploy it today. I need to identify somebody today. There's no hurry. You'll have to do homework. You have to spend time.
There are
Like-
those who don't understand.
Like it is like this, right? It is like an arranged marriage and a love marriage. Okay. Love marriages, you get to know somebody over a period of time. Okay, and then get married. Arranged marriages, you just go meet once or twice. I'm talking about traditional way of getting married, and they get married. Okay, you can't identify your family office or your advisors based on one meeting. You'll have to go through the process. You'll have to understand them quite well. You have to speak to the right people. You have to read. You have to take time. Actually, it's after all your hard-earned money, and you need to protect it. So there's no hurry in terms of deploying. There's no hurry. Nothing is going to happen. The world is not going to fall. So it's very important that people should spend time before they get into a marriage, and that's what is very critical.
Secret for a prosperous, nice relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, within the families themselves, I've seen a lot of young people who say that I don't trade or all my stock trading, I do it without telling my father, because the father is coming from a very traditional set, like you were saying, of probably FDs, very secure ones. And then there is this new generation. So when you say patience, then of course you probably also, in a way, you're also playing a counselor to your clients. Yeah. So this far in the conversation, we have dealt with people types, human behavior, why certain people behave the way they do, and it's all great insights. What I would now like to ask you is, you have given a drop-down list of how wise wealth and an authentic family office that really is in the realm of ethical functioning. Tell us the opposite. What is the inauthentic family office, so that there are warning signs for those who are watching us?
So the answer is very much derived from the earlier, explanation what I gave is, where do you make your money from? So let us dwell little bit deep into how people make their money.
Sure.
In a financial services business, because many a times the fee structure is based on the amount of wealth, liquid wealth. I'm talking about the actual money which is lying in the bank is to be managed. That determines the fee structure in terms of how much you're going to charge, how much you're going to make, everything. So traditionally you talk about the traditional wealth management businesses. It could be banks, it could be institutions, it could be brokers, it could be any. So if you really ask me, the money in this business, actually it's only in these institutions. That means they make maximum money. If you look at, most of these institutions are listed today. They're listed as an entity.
Yeah.
It's not as the bank. Like, for example, even the wealth management business is listed separately. That means that they need to be growing at a tremendous pace. That means that growth will come from where? This growth will come only from revenue and fees. Okay? And typically, and to put it in a very, very easy way, if you sell a mutual fund, if you sell a product, the product manufacturer pays me certain commissions for distributing this product.
Right.
The more the commission, the more I make money. As an institution I'm talking about. So typically, most of these institutions we are talking about, and when you saying that inauthentic, that means that you are making money from distributing products. And every time the regulators come with new rules to protect the investors, these institutions find ways. In India, Jugaad is something which is always famous and popular.
Bilkul.
Where like anything what you bring, they'll bring a kind of a new way of making money, and that's how institutions grow. I'm not trying to typecast these people. They have their own business to run. That's a business model which they have chosen, and they're running. So whereas a typical, a pedigreed, blue-blooded multifamily office makes zero money on the products what they sell or advice. What they make is the fee what the client pays them. That's it, period. That means I'm indifferent to what I sell it, what I've advised you.
You're product agnostic in a sense.
Completely. So my only goal is to make sure your risk profile is followed to the T. Is your investment goals is followed to the T. As an investor, if I say I want 5% more than the inflation, like let's take 7% inflation, I'll be satisfied with 12% return. My goal is to just make sure that he gets 12%. Okay? And I will choose opportunities which can deliver that 12% at the lowest cost, because I'm protecting the investor there. Because he's anyway paying me for it. He's paying a fees for it. So the minute you know that somebody is dealing with multiple people who are not working in this framework and who are working outside this, they're making money in every possible way, then it is not the right way to manage money.
So the red flags
The red
rise
flag
right
starts there.
Yeah.
The minute they say saying that I deal with this, then you know saying that, hey, where they're coming from.
When we started this interview, I asked you about wealth creation, then we went into growth, then protection. The last part of it is the legacy or the transmission, the fact that you are leaving behind something for probably your family, then also for your society, country. So do you also therefore advise or as a function of the multifamily office look at philanthropy as a tool, as a suggestion to the client? At what point do you bring that up?
No, so I would say India as a country is very far away from organized philanthropy. Okay, very few people do that. Of course, the likes of Mr. Premji and Mr. Nilekini, like Mr. Chris Gopalakrishnan, or some of them in the north, even Minister Vineet Nayar, who used to be the CEO of HCL, or
Shiv Nadar.
There is Shiv Nadar. There are very few people. They are all very big. Okay, obviously they're very different, and they are here like for a reason, meaning in terms of they're considered doyens of India because they brought a change, meaning in terms of Mr. Anand Mahindra, everybody for that matter. You should take them away from this discussion, because they don't define what India is all about, meaning in terms of particularly on the philanthropy segment, because they are actually trailblazers in this segment.
Right.
Okay, but we should talk about the more mortals, meaning saying that a normal investor who's got 100 crores, 200 crores, 500 crores, 1000 crores. Okay.
My question is more about those everyday givers or the people
Yes,
who are.
yes. So there's no organized philanthropy which they do.
Sure.
Okay. Like even today, we all know saying that the maximum money in terms of by way of donations and payouts goes to the temples and churches and mosques in a country like India. Okay, like if you see saying that people go to Tirupati, donate crores of money. Okay, likewise too, there are our Christian friends donate a lot of money to the churches. Okay, so basically religious philanthropy is large in India. Okay, and of course they like take care of their drivers' education, drivers' kids' education, or some medical. These are very small things where you do around your ecosystem to maids, kids you educate. That's all. But that's not about philanthropy, right? India needs, like for example, taking care of the girl child. Okay, if you look at that's a very vast subject. Okay, you're talking about elderly care. Okay, like for example, in the next 20-30 years, India is going to be, the demographic dividends are going to go away. We're going to have more and more elderly people coming in. What are we doing about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so likewise, like for example, mental health, it's a huge issue. Okay, and very few people are talking about it. So are people doing organized philanthropy? Okay, which is answer is no. Okay, and like even if we go and prompt and talk and say that, that's not in the realm of discussion, because they
Okay.
believe that that's a personal space. Okay, it's not for an organization to
To
suggest.
suggest to them.
Okay, and that's what we are trying to break. Okay, we are trying to work around and say that, hey man, we need to come and discuss with you. Please tell us what need to be done, and if need be, we'll have to do seminars. Like for example, we are talking about a seminar in Entrust, where we are going to bring in philanthropy as a main subject. Okay, even the very first year in 2013, we had our first anniversary. We did ideas for the beautiful world. So we had people like Ravi Venkatesan, we had Narayan Ramchandran, people like that came and spoke about giving. Okay, from first year we have been talking about philanthropy. But if you ask me really, have we achieved something significantly in that area? Not at all. Okay, we're struggling there. Okay, and we hope to achieve, because clients also need to evolve. Okay, they need to think saying that it's not about that educating that makes kids. That's
That's a low
helping.
hanging fruit.
That's a
at
low
this
hanging fruit
point.
and help.
Yeah.
Okay. Philanthropy is a much larger word, meaning you'll have to solve countries' problems. Okay. You'll have to have state problems. Okay. There are hundreds of problems which are there. You can take one or two
Yeah.
and start contributing.
I think it's a great point. One, when we look at entrepreneurship, for instance, as from a problem-solving lens, and therefore, once you've gotten wealth, to also look at it as at a macro level as the country's problem-solving, and you're even a nudge of your client base towards that is sounding welcome. I understand the challenges part. I want to veer towards the end of this by asking you that how do people become successful in maintaining their or preserving wealth in all the forms that we have spoken about this far, whether the lifestyle that they currently lead, but also leaving a legacy, protecting their wealth for their children, and doing good for the society. So this sort of wholesome wealth that people can come into. Can you point out to some successful habits, or who in your experience has been a good client that can probably throw some light for those who are watching us?
So, like in the very initial stages when we spoke about in this conversation, I said saying that wealth is transient. Okay, you don't own anything in this world. Okay, you can enjoy as far as you are here. Okay, you can enjoy whatever you have earned, and and I always believe in something. And when people saying that, hey, you've been successful, I said saying that, yeah, it just happened. It is not because of my smartness, or it is not because saying that I've been blessed. You know, the realization saying that yes, you've been blessed to be where you are, is what will change the way you look at things. Okay, the more you think saying that, hey, I have done this, me, I, and like those kind of words will make you more arrogant, and to make you what do you say, will not allow you to think saying that wealth is not transient, because this hoarding and like what do you say, keep looking at the money every day, it's all because you think it's all good, it's yours and you have earned it, you're going to take it away while going. It's a myth, right? We all know saying that it's a myth. Okay, and the minute you start identifying that, and for that you need to read a lot, you need to listen to people, you need to, like for example, there are a lot of people who keep, when I speak, say, because we deal with the likes of Mr. Nilkeni, people say, hey, like I love the way he thinks, the way he acts. And it's not just talking. It's like walking the talk is very important. You need to know, you need to understand how people deal with wealth, how they dissociate with wealth, their lifestyle. Okay, whether it's Bentley is not a statement. It is, you need to understand that, right? Saying that it can be a hobby. Like you can, I'm not saying, I'm not against capitalism. I'm not against saying that you should not buy cars. That could be a hobby, but that's not your style statement saying that I'm alright. The minute you say saying that, hey, there's so many cars and so many houses and I have a private jet, private jet can be a convenience because you need to spend time very effectively. Okay, the minute you say saying that people should talk saying that, hey, he owns a private jet, that means that you're still not arrived. You're not realized saying that money is all yours. Okay, so typically I would say clients, when people realize saying that yes, money is just happened to me. It's not right time, right place, maybe blessings from my elders, God, whatever you call it. Okay, and the universe. If the minute you start talking that language, then you are wisely wealthy.
Are many women increasingly wisely wealthy? Typically, in terms of ownership, whether it's land or things in the Indian scenario, women haven't been so much in the forefront. I was reading the India Philanthropy Report 2024 and how women, for example, are faring. In terms of percentage, they are small, but in your experience, have more women now come into this to be your clients on their own?
I would not say to answer your question. We don't have many women as clients, but of course we do have what is a few.
Because the reason
Uh,
why I'm also asking that is that they defer decisions of wealth most often to their spouses, fathers. This is also something, a mindset thing that many people have already spoken about, and we have experienced it. That you don't feel confident enough to take that big decision. So, how has been your experience with
I would say
women wealth creators?
we have not changed a lot from that mindset. It's changing. It's changing. It'll take time to change. But let me put it this way, saying that um, uh, majority of I always believe that women are going to change this world. Okay, and that's going to happen. Okay, and in front of what do you say uh, your patriarchal mindset and like the high-handed men, they'll keep seeing it slipping out of their grip. It's going to happen. Okay, the next 20 years it's going to happen for sure. And as they progress and as they move, and more we are seeing single women today. Okay, and typically very strong, capable, and also running companies. Like for example, a lot of CEOs are women. Okay, we can see that happening in the last probably 10, 15, 20 years. And I believe that over a period of time this will change. Okay, uh, but
But the current
but the
scenario,
current scenario is still a
Hmm.
little, I would say, male dominated. And I really I wish and believe this will change over a period of time, because I believe that they are more grounded, and women are more grounded. Sorry, in fact, I'm sounding very different, but I believe that actually they bring a sense of in terms of stability to the entire system, and I think it will change over a period.
Great note to pause this conversation. It's been, I would say, uh, many takeaways, and especially for somebody who doesn't get to listen to a leisure conversation on a topic that is so core to our very existence. I really wish that more and more people are wealth wise and go into wise wealth, and maybe have more enablers, and therefore good luck in the on the journey that you are in, and
Thank you.
thank you for being on this
No,
show.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for hearing me out and like asking very pertinent questions. And it's very important, I feel, saying that people should, what do you say, take a little time off and listen to this. I'm sure that they'll get one or two points which will be helpful for their kind of a journey.
Absolutely. Thank you.